This video is to go over the percent notes page that we did in class. There is an additional video that shows some alternate ways to solve problems like this that will be posted on this channel as well. So for the tip, a personal definition for tip is the percent of a meal that is added to the total. So when we look at that in a strip diagram form, basically that cost of the meal is going to be in addition to a percentage, so it's smaller. That tip is going to be a percentage of that cost of the meal. So again, that's your cost of your meal with your tip added in. And then just remember that this is a percentage of that cost of the meal. So when we look at our discounts, this percent is subtracted from the total or from the regular price. And then the sale price is found by subtracting the discount from regular price. So if this bar represents your regular price, then our sale price plus our discount is equal to that whole regular price. So this is a strip way of visualizing how we find these values. So the next part says, if you know the value of 100%, how could you find the value of 10%? Well, 100%, if you remember your strip diagrams from earlier today, is made up of little percentages. So if we're talking about tens, this would be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100%. So if this represents 100% and this represents 10, to find just that 10%, we could divide 100%, like the value, sorry, divide the value of 100%, whatever that is, by 10. So if we know the value of 100%, how could we find the value of 1%? So if you think about that one, this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so on, so on, so on until we have 100. So there's going to be 100 little pieces. So we can divide the value of 100%, whatever it is, by 100 to figure out what just 1% is. So for example, if a ticket to the movies costs $8, we have a coupon for 5% off the price of the movie. So 100% is the total cost. So if I divide by 10, which means move the decimal this way, that means 10% is 80 cents. Well, 5 is half of 10, so how could I come up with 5%? Well, I could take this 10% and divide by 2. Additionally, I could always take $8 and divide by 100. That would give me 1%. If I multiplied that by 5 now, that would give me 5%. So there's always going to be multiple ways to get to your answer. That 5% represented the coupon, So that's how much you're going to save. How much is the discounted movie ticket? Well, our movie ticket was originally $8 and we're discounting it $40, which means the price of our movie ticket is $7.60. All right, let's look at another one. The cost of the meal is $24, so that's 100%. You would like to leave a 15% tip. Well, if I divide by 10, that's going to give me 10%. If I already have 10%, I can divide by 2 to figure out what 5% is. 15% is 10 and 5% added together. So that's going to be $3.16, or sorry, 60 cents. So our tip was 15%, which is $3.60. And remember, the tip is going to be combined with the original cost. So $24 plus $3.60 is $27.60. So when I look at this last question, it says a bicycle costs $120. You must pay 8% sales tax rate. Explain how to use mental math to find the amount of a tax on a bicycle. There are various answers that you could provide for this, but one way that makes sense to me is to find out what 1% is. If the total cost is 120, that represents 100%. So if I divide by 100, that's going to give me $1.20. And that represents 1%. I need 8%. So if I multiply this value by 8%, or sorry, by 8, that's going to give me 8%. So the amount of tax on the bicycle would be $9.60. All right, so that's it for this particular notes page. Please look at the other page that we have over percent notes as well to help you with different methods.